So through 81, 82, and then I ran into the woman who's, was it Fatal Attraction? Had to be modeled after this woman. I ended up actually leaving town and traveling around the country because I couldn't get rid of this babe. She wouldn't leave my house. So I took my gear with me and traveled around. I worked in all kinds of different places, but they were always usually one-person jobs where you weren't allowed to leave. So going around carrying your gear with you was sort of a misnomer. And then through the 80s, I made a few jumps and stuff, but and then through the 90s, my last real jump was 1996. I made one in the early 2000s. But through this time, I mean, like with Nick Lucas and the development of relative work, we jumped with smoke and mirrors at the 76 Nationals. This was tight competition. This was big shit. And my first meeting with B.J. Worth was a very cocky, eat my shorts because we're going to win. That's exactly what it was. And he didn't like me after that. We got to be friends better as the years went on because he knew where that came from. But it was just a wonderful time. The Nationals in '76 and Richmond. I believe they were that was Tahlequah, and then in Richmond the next 2 years. In fact, then '79 and I think '80, and then it moved in '81. They had it at Zephyr Hills, and where it went after that, I don't even know. But a lot of the stuff that went on, Jeff Searles and Hooper at Zephyr Hills, the little things that went on there. But at the land, the 2 years I was there, what a great time that was. Jumping with the slots, the guys that were there, what a wonderful time that was. Absolutely no responsibility whatsoever. I mean, it was like Goosebump City, doing mushrooms and stuff, and going to the beach, getting a suntan, chasing the bikinis. Wonderful time. And then I got married in the mid-'80s, and I still jumped up until into the 90s a little bit. I would go, they'd have little boogies. There was a private airport there just north of me, and they had some skydiving. At one time they actually had one of the original wind tunnels, the free flight wind tunnels there. And so I'd go there and I'd make a few jumps, do a little flying. I became a pilot. And if you want to look at something historical, I mean, to me it was, back in the days when you didn't know better, Mike Johnson and I used to drop by the Jump Shack in Detroit and just chit-chat with the guys, and Mike Johnson goes, hey, we're working on a pull-up pilot chute. He says, you want to help me make some jumps? So I said, yeah. So we went out to the airport and started jumping. I made 3 malfunction jumps in a row, trying to figure out how to get that pin to come out when you wafted the thing off and pulled and you threw it up. But it really got in tow. The straight pin wasn't the way to go. It was a curved pin that came off his girlfriend's purse that actually was the solution. And I always considered that to be kind of a neat contribution. I don't know how many guys were that stupid. How are we going to do this? I don't know. We're going to try this. Duh. And I had a triconical reserve, which is nothing more than that, a big umbrella. But through the years, the stuff, I mean, it was my life for so long that it was hard to give up and to come out here and, not, right now I got a total knee and a total hip, so it's to watch everybody jump. It is no fun. Skydiving is not a spectator sport. That's about it. The guys I jumped with were many, and some of them were big deals, really. Jerry Bird, I liked him. We always got along great, man. But that's about it. Like I say, you may not recognize me or anything like that, but I was on a lot of big dives, and I kind of just stuck to myself, more or less. I didn't want all the politics I didn't want to get involved with. The only politics that I got involved with was when I was called by Bill Otley a cheater, and that I got up and walked out and was followed by more than a couple people. That was just not a cool thing to say. I went through that. I made hundreds and hundreds of dives and spent thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. And then to be called a cheater, no. We were ahead of our time. We took out the first large base out of a DC-3 in that door. And that was quite something. And if you watch the films of it, you'll go, whoa, that's pretty cool. And we were good. Our times at that Nationals were about 8 seconds.